And welcome back to Maverick Hunter X File Mode. Today we're going to be finishing up File Mode. Who knew? File does go through Sigma Files 1, 2, and 3. 4 is omitted for story reasons, question mark. But Sigma Files 1, 2, and 3, aside from the ending of 3, plays out exactly the same. There's some differences, well, minor differences in enemy placements, I believe. But aside from that, it's the exact same. And for some reason, when you play Sigma Palace 1, 2, and 3, they have the original pieces of music instead of that very grating file theme. I'm not entirely sure why they just didn't do. So here's what I would have done if I was a developer. I never will. But I would have given the option to change the soundtrack or just flat out make his theme limited to just Central Highway. I think that would make more sense, but because the theme that plays for X, it just sounds like it's more fitting for X. I know we're way past that, but it's just, why go all the way up to this point with that theme and then just change it for the last part? I mean, thank you for doing that, but at the same time, I wish y'all just would have only did it for one stage instead of 9. So I'm gonna backtrack a bit before I talk about the boss. The rider armor is present at the beginning. If you're able to get it to the mini boss, you can just shoot off this angler with a vulcan cannon, and then you can just go to town at its main body and just feed it easily. Now, as far as the rematches go, they are more or less the same. I mentioned earlier that the Robot Masters do have weaknesses to Vile's weapons, and the difference between Vile and X is they have multiple weaknesses, in a sense that because Vile has so many weapons, they made multiple weapons effective against the bosses. And I just went with the ones that I think would benefit me the best. So Launch Octopus is weak to the Fire Moraine, which is the shoulder weapon. And the reason I went with that is because I thought it would be useful for the in-stage boss, but in the end it wasn't. And that's just one of the factors that I consider when picking weapons for this part of the stage, is that, okay, what is going to be effective against the bosses and what is also going to be effective in the stage in general. Now usually I'll just go with the default because they just work, but I also just want, but this time I also wanted to show that, hey, they do have weapons that they are weak to, and you can take advantage of that. There's probably a list out there somewhere, I'm not entirely sure where, but it probably has like a list of all the different types of weapons Vile can equip and which ones are effective against which Mavericks. So if you're curious about that and enjoy the mode and just want to learn more, you can definitely find that probably like on a wiki of some sorts, I want to say. Not entirely sure. So yeah, this part is pretty much the same. We're just climbing up this long corridor with platforms just scattered about. What I didn't do, but I will show off in a little bit, is that my E-tanks are not full. It probably would have been helpful in some instances, but you can actually go back anytime to fill them up in between stages. Thankfully, it's not a marathon where you start Sigma Palace 1, then you have to go through 2, 3. I don't think it was that way in the regular X. No, it wasn't. I feel like they did that in one of the games, though. I might just be misremembering, though. So I also have the Humorous Crush and the Peace Out Roller. I want to say Humorous Crush is Boomerang Winger's weakness, but to find out, let's see what I start with. Yep, it's the Humorous Crush. See, he's going through the animation of being hit by his weakness. I think the Peace Out Roller, actually, I think I just brought that just because I like it. It's one of my favorite leg weapons because what it does is it creates a ball of electricity that travels along the floor and wall, and it has a great coverage too. So in my mind, probably past me, I was thinking, oh, this would be used for the boss along with the Fire Marine. This is what the shoulder weapon that I'm using right now. So the last stretch of this Sigma House one is just through this hallway with a bunch of enemies. Mainly the tortoises and the flying helicopter, I don't know what they are. As well as the turrets that shoot diagonally and then horizontally. And I'm looking at the timeline in Movie Studio. I'm trying to figure. Oh, I remember. I remember. So, Boss Spider, I think, plays relatively the same, but for some reason, so you can use the Peace Out roller, but you have to time it to where you fire a bit early because there's a bit of a wind up to it. Yeah, I remember. I tried out every weapon, and for the Peace Out roller, it actually ended up doing more. Because I'm not entirely clear on what the weaknesses is. The weaknesses are for these Sigma Palace 1 bosses. So, what you saw was literally everything in the fight, and this goes on for, I think, 5 more minutes. So I'm speeding this up. So I'm not trying to bore y'all. You know, some people might find it boring. Whoops. But I figured I'd just save y'all some time because there's nothing else to show about the fight. Just time your Peace Out roller if you have that, or whatever leg part you have, or if you brought the proper weakness to this fight. I feel like I didn't, because I thought the Fire Moraine would be useful, but it ended up being the most useless of the 3 weapons that are brought. It didn't really happen. And yeah, Boss Spider actually deploying like miniature spiders while it's going down it did that so frequently during the fight, and it just kept throwing me off. So it just got to a point where I would just spam Peace Out roller until, you know, it landed on the ground. The good thing about it is Peace Out roller would actually destroy the mini spiders as well. So, you know, win-win situation. Alright, so Sigma Palace 2, where we fight Ronda Banga. You know, I still don't know the significance of that name. I feel like it's just something they do together. Maybe there's some meaning to it. I'll look it up and then put it in the next video, because I'm not gonna do it right now. I tell you what. Actually, maybe I could do it now. You know what? I will.
I'll show you how strong I am.
Alright, so Ronda Banda's name is the first part is the same as Ronda, a wicked witch of Balinese folklore who represented evil. Ronda Banda's name is mistranslated as Lamb da Bamba in the track list of the X1 to 6 soundtrack release. This mistranslation again appears in the Rockman X soundbox. Ronda Banda is named Ronda Banda in Rockman Memories. Alright, well, I learned not much. Anyway, so the Brian Armor, you'll want to keep it because it'll take a good amount of damage for you, just in general. Whenever you see it, just grab it. It also makes these parts a little less time consuming. It can get rid of those mechs that are found in Armored Armadillo stage. Be mindful of the spikes that those mechs have when they're rolling through, because those are instant kill. They count as like a spike pit. So if you don't have the right armor, you have to slowly chip away at these obstacles. That might be just because of the weapon I have, which is the Distance Dealer. We got this really early on. But it's effective against... Oh, who is it effective against? It's not Armored Armadillo. Armored Armadillo is actually weak against the Peace Out roller. So it just happened to have his weakness. Now let's see if I time this. No, because of the slow startup, I wasn't able to get him. But just as with X, once you hit him with his weakness, he loses his armor, and he's vulnerable to damage for the rest of the fight. And I like to correct myself, the pizza roller won't roll along the walls and ceilings, it will just roll along the floor. I don't know what I was thinking of earlier. I don't know if it's a different weapon or just a different game entirely. But yeah, pizza roller just makes the fight a joke. May have mentioned this before, but this section right here was found in Sigma Palace 1, and now they moved it to Sigma Palace 2 because why not? Depending on when you appear on the screens, the cycles could be a little jank, like that, where the platforms are moving in sync. So if you want to fix that, you can actually just go off screen and then go back on it. It'll change the cycle. The turrets, I think, are actually new for Vile mode. Alright, so once you reach the top, you will face off against the next boss, which is, I believe, Storm Eagle. I almost died right there. Yep, Storm Eagle. He is weak to the shoulder weapon that I have, which is called the Cerberus Phantom. So yes, just that's what you gotta do. Makes him easier than usual. Yeah, when you use a Storm Tornado, you'll more likely get pushed away before you even get a chance to hit him with it. But yeah, it's Storm Eagle. Too easy. On to the next section, which borrows elements from Spark Manual stage, where the lights are out and you just have to make your way to this platform. This could possibly be the first time you deal with this, I want to say, just depending on the stage order you go through. Like, you may not even deal with that.
Let's get started.
Because Rondabonda is actually weak against the Distance Needler. So he doesn't get through a stun animation, but he does take more damage than the other weapons. And I wish Vile had some kind of dash. I would have avoided that heavy damage, but it is what it is. So that's... Isn't it 3 Mavericks? Yeah, it's 3 Mavericks already. So now we just have to climb up here and deal with these turrets. I think that's really the main enemy. Oh yeah, those not motorcycle-esque enemies. Love that enemy placement. I got extremely lucky with those drops. But once we reach the top, we will face off against the boss that we talked about earlier, Rondabonda. I don't know what it's weak to. It is weak to Sting Chameleon, I believe. Yes, it is. So, yeah. I think it actually is weak to Cerberus Phantom because I did a lot of damage. So I was somewhat lucky. But it's originally weak to Sting Chameleon. I mentioned this when I played this as X, but each separate part did have its own weakness. It's something I didn't really get too much into because I was either playing as Zero or I had the Gaia armor. And I know a lot of people don't typically like the Gaia armor because of the slow movement, but that's really the only negative it has. You know, you can stick to walls. It has an instant charge shot. And it just does a lot of damage. And you're immune to spikes. Who doesn't like that? It's really the perfect armor for that part of Mega Man X5. Plugging that game in because it's my favorite X game. Favorite Mega Man game in general. Can't get enough of that. But yes, you can just use the Cerberus Phantom, and that should do the trick. Good choice on my part. Good job, past me. Give you a hand clap. Alright, so Sigma Palace 3, Unknown. Up to, oh, okay. Okay, but first, yeah, so this is the part where you grind for energy for your subjects. The the beginning part of Armor Armadillo stage, where you usually go through a minecart, but because this is battle mode, we won't bring a cart. Just grind these spiked wheels and that, and they'll drop a good amount of energy. Just keep doing that for a while, and you'll eventually fill up your sub tanks. I did this because this boss, I remember giving me a lot of crap in previous steps. Well, previous times I played this, all 2 times. But I think that's because I didn't really go in with their weakness, if they have any weaknesses to begin with. But these weapons, although I don't think they're technically weaknesses for the characters about to fight, they do make things easier because it can kind of negate some of the things that gave me problems with the fight. But yeah, this is the final stage for Vile Mode, Sigma Palace 3. I came equipped with the Bonsai Beetle, which is the arm part, the 2-headed Slash with the shoulder part, and then the Burning Drive, which is another good leg part, where he basically just lights himself on fire. It's pretty good, and the hitbox is decently large, so you can get up close, and it's very quick in the air as well. The Burning Drive is the weakness of Chill Penguin. And this does more than X's weapon. Like, watch this. Only had to hit him 3 times. It's actually insane how much damage it does. Not a big fan of this mode, but I'll give it credit where it's credit is due. Some of these weapons are actually pretty cool. It's just, you know, enemy placement is, I think, my biggest gripe with the mode in general. And how it persists throughout most of the game. Sigma Palace in general is pretty tame in comparison, but I think that's just because you have more options at this point in the game, whereas the other 8 stages can be extremely difficult just depending on what you come equipped with, and just some instances you're just gonna have to deal with that extra chip damage. Sting Chameleon, weak to, I want to say, the 2-headed Slash, but I want to say Bonsai Beetle might actually be something that's weak to as well. But yeah, definitely weak to 2-headed Slash. I don't even try the Bonsai Beetle, but I want to say he might be weak to it. But yes, he'll typically hang from the ceiling. Sometimes he'll just get up in your face after getting hit and try to attack you that way. He does that as when you're playing as X as well. Just be mindful of that. Alright, so the final part before the final Maverick. Guess who we're going to be fighting next? Yep. Chill Penguin 2.0. Nah, it's just Flame Mammoth. Can you imagine? Chill Penguin 2.0. Well, I guess in a sense they kind of are. Like, I feel like, yeah, there's different Mavericks in each game, but the ideas kind of repeat. Oh boy, love it. I love it. Alright, Flame Mammoth. Now, do I try to cut off his trunk with the 2-headed Slash? I don't remember. Yeah, I do. I think I also just die too. Or not. Oh. Yeah, I just survived. Now in the next room, I'm pretty sure I just take a hit and be like, yeah, and go full health. Other than that, we have one more boss that is exclusive to Vile Mode. I want to say it's a reference to X5 specifically, because these 2 characters are bosses in that game. You only fight. Well, you'll see. There we go. Just die. Get that full health, my guy. I got 8 lives, full sub tanks. There ain't no way I'm losing. But that said, I kind of rely on sub tanks in general for this, because I just kind of damage them more than they damage me until they perish. But yeah, this is the final room before the fight. Just these mooks that just kind of throw everything at you. With my setup, I don't really have anything that just kind of gets rid of them outright, although the burning drive is pretty good, but taking chip damage is kind of inedible. Thankfully, they have health powers. Doesn't excuse the sloppy enemy plays, but whatever.
Stop right there!
You've really caused a lot of havoc, Vile.
Yeah? I was just taking care of a few loose ends.
So you're not on Sigma's side? You two aren't friends?
Friends? I don't have any. Not now, not ever. I only know one thing for sure, X. You are my enemy.
This is as far as you go. Let's finish this, Vile.
Okay, but why is he your enemy? It's the better question. So yes, the final boss battle for Vile mode is both Zero and X. Zero will use his Z-Buster, and y'all may think, why is he using his Z-Saber? Because one, it wasn't a thing in X1, and two, it's known to be more powerful than X's. That's what it makes his a little more unique, whereas X has his full armor set and access to a few special weapons, specifically Storm Eagle and Armored Armadillos. I don't think he uses anything else, although he will use alternating charge shots, so like he'll use a half charge and then just fire little pellet shots. You can get rid of Armored Armadillo's shield by using Burning Drive. And when he's using Storm Eagle's full charge, you can actually take advantage of that by getting some damage off. But yeah, just damage them more than they damage you. You'll be fine. I like the idea of this fight. And the fight itself isn't too bad, really. I thought it was actually a really good way to end this mode, despite me having so many issues with it. But yeah, that's it.
X. I'll admit, you have grown stronger. But you'll hardly be able to change the world if you're dead. What's the matter, X? Aren't you gonna show me your true power? Wimp to the very end, huh? End of the line, X.
Change the world? Sounds like Maverick talk to me.
Let's go!
X, shoot now!
Not a charge shot! Sigma. I thought X, but I still don't understand. Why him? What's so special about him?
What exactly did you plan to do, Vile? Would you stand before me as a Maverick Hunter? Kneel at my feet and place yourself at my mercy?
What did I plan to do? Thinking about it now, I'm not actually sure.
Retrieve Vile.
I don't care what happens to this world. By defeating X, I validated my own existence. And that's all that matters to me now. My name is Vile. I am...